Okay, so antecedents are a thing that you already do. We're just giving it a name and a big name. So what is an antecedent? This is when you can use pronouns to replace a previously stated noun. So the first time the noun is used, you give it a name. But then the second time you replace it with a he, she, them, it. And that's the antecedent, is when the first time the noun is used. Huh? Are you confused? Let's read it one more time. So what is an antecedent? It's this process that when you can use pronouns to replace a previously stated noun. The first time that noun is used, that is the antecedent. So let's look at an example. Jeremy arrived late because traffic held him up. We know who he is because it says his name earlier in the sentence. Jeremy is the antecedent. Okay, so let's practice this. And let's do a little review. What's a noun? The noun is a person, place, or thing. So you could have like a surfer, forest, school. You can also have proper nouns. This is where a lot of our antecedents come in, are proper nouns. Not always, but a lot. So the name of that surfer, Chad. The name of the forest, Olympic National Forest. The name of that school, Shelton High School. Those are our proper nouns. And nouns can also be singular and plural. So we've got one dog, singular, multiple dogs, plural. Here's some examples of pronouns. So when you're reading a sentence and somebody is repeating the person's name over and over again, or the same noun over and over again, you can replace it in the sentence with a she, he, we, they, them, or an it, depending on the sentence. So let's look at this example. So a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun. So here are some nouns. Mr. Hirsch told Kiana and Skylar to clean up Kiana and Skylar's bedrooms. That's really wordy, especially at the end. You've already said Kiana and Skylar once, so how can we shorten it? We can say, Mr. Hirsch told Kiana and Skylar to clean up their bedrooms. That is a lot simpler, and that makes it Kiana and Skylar the antecedents. So they're the names that come before that get replaced. So when you're looking at the word antecedent, ante means to come before. Fun fact. Just 1 second. It looks like I might need to help IT. Okay, so let's try this. This is where your extra credit points come in. So if you haven't already, click into the Pear Deck slide. Replace the bold name with a pronoun. Here's our sentence. Mrs. Leggett worked in Mrs. Leggett's garden. That's repetitive. You don't have to say Mrs. Leggett's garden because we've already established that it's Mrs. Leggett. So what word can we use? What pronoun can we use instead of saying her name again? Let's look at an example. We could say Mrs. Leggett worked in her garden. So that's the pronoun that we would use. So this is the way this sentence would get said in normal speech. Mrs. Leggett worked in her garden. So then what's the antecedent? What's that big word that we're talking about today? Mrs. Leggett worked in her garden. Which one of these words is the antecedent? If you click on this slide, you have the ability to pick. This is the type of question that's going to be on the quiz. So you're going to be given a sentence and you're going to be asked to identify the antecedent. So let's break it down. We have Mrs. Leggett worked in her garden. So who's the her? That's the antecedent. Who is the her in this sentence? That'd be me, Mrs. Leggett. Ha. Next. Replace the nouns in bold with a pronoun. Kiara went to the concert and Kiara had a great time. What could we use instead of repeating Kiara's name? What pronoun could we use? Yeah, she. You could say Kiara went to the concert and she had a great time. So now here's the money question. Which word in the sentence is the antecedent? Kiara went to the concert and she had a great time. Which word is the antecedent? Which word is that she? Who's the she in the sentence? The she in this sentence is Kiara. She is the antecedent. Okay, let's add one other piece to this. So this is possessive nouns. Possessive nouns do not use apostrophes to show ownership or belonging. Here's some examples of possessive nouns that also get used in sentences with antecedents. We've got my and mine, your, yours, her, his, our, ours, their, theirs, its. I italicized it because this is the one that even I get tripped up on and I have to re-say it out loud in my head. So if you added an apostrophe, that would be it is a contraction. It would be like the dog scratched its back. So let's look at some examples of sentences that use possessive pronouns. Juanita's book got wet in the rain. Now her pages are soggy. So Juanita is the antecedent in this, and this word her is a possessive pronoun that we have in there. Let's look at another one. That book that belongs to me got left on the table. That's really wordy. How can we say that differently? My book got left on the table. And in this case, me or I would be the antecedent. Let's look at one more example. The keys that belong to you were in the purse that belongs to you. That's really wordy. Let's break it down. Your keys were in your purse. So your purse and your keys, those show possession. Normally I would be like yelling this to my mom if this was me in high school. Mom, your keys are in your purse. I'm sure you've never had to say that before. And that was just a recap slide. So here's our practice, our last two practice questions before you go into your quiz. How would this get rewritten to include a possessive pronoun? The dog lost the collar that belongs to the dog. It's wordy. We wouldn't say that. We would shorten it. How would we shorten it? We would say the dog lost its collar. The dog lost its collar. And then that would make, in this sentence, that would make the dog would be the antecedent, okay? So the dog is the antecedent in this one. Next, the students, next and last. The students ate the lunches that belonged to the students. So how can this sentence get rewritten to include a possessive pronoun? The students ate ... You would say, the students ate their lunch or their lunches. And in this case, which one is the antecedent? It's the thing that the sentence is about, the students. Students would be the antecedent. Okay, that was just a recap. So, what is an antecedent? It's when you use a pronoun to replace a previously stated noun. The first time that noun is used, that is the antecedent. So let's go back to our original example. Jeremy arrived late because traffic held him up. We know who he is. The he is our antecedent. Jeremy, the word Jeremy, is the antecedent. Okay, now we're going to be taking the quiz. But before I say take the quiz, pun time. A big shout out to my fingers. I can always count on them. I hope you have somebody in your life that you can always count on. I know that was cringy. So we're almost done, people. The last 2 assignments in the gradebook, we have 514 and then your unit final. Your unit final is not due until next Tuesday. So please make sure that you're knocking these out because you're special and I like you, 5th period. You get a little bit of an extra day to turn stuff in. So if there's anything else that's been missing that you didn't get a squeak in yesterday, you can turn that in today. All right. Just email me and let me know. Okay, take the 514 quiz. Let me know when you're done.